What's good everyone, it's your boy Yadig, 4 Eyes, 2 G's here, and today we're here to talk about Famous Dex. Now Famous Dex is someone I got introduced to a long time ago now during the peak SoundCloud days of 2015, 2016 and 2017, and to say he doesn't have classic upon classic SoundCloud songs would be an absolute lie. I can't tell you how many times I just go back and revisit those 2016 peak era Famous Dex songs. However, over the last couple years, especially since 2017, 2018, to be honest, Famous Dex has gone through his ups and downs to say the least. And in this video, I just wanted to kind of analyze the data, analyze the situations that he's gotten into, and break down where he's at right now. Let's get into it.
Always hot when I'm the topic. Start my year young fuego, getting big money, no peso. Keep them rats around my queso. Got that off white on my lacio. I ain't have it, now I got it. Came a long way from apartments. Always hating, bitch, just stop it. Always hot when I'm the topic. Southern heat the way I'm hot. Play with me and you gon' rock. I just got back from the egg, yeah.
And first of all, guys, if you guys don't follow your boy on Instagram at Yadig, make sure to. I've currently got a preview up of some new merch I'm dropping sometime this week. Shout out to these two girls, Zara and Alex, for helping me out with the shoot. They absolutely killed it. Go over to my IG to see this preview. I'm so excited to drop this merch. 2 new pieces coming, and make sure to go follow Zara and Alex as well. Also, shout out to the live stream squad. I was live today earlier on. Comment if you were in that live. I'm trying to go live like every day now. Make sure to turn on notifications to know when I go live, but let's get back to it. Okay, so let's bring it back to like 2016, 2017 era Famous Dex. So as you can see right here, Famous Dex was so prolific during this era. You guys already know if you were paying attention, video on video, which as you can see, we're literally getting millions upon millions of views. Man, Go Hard Part 2, Wait Yo Bitch, Lil Pill, Trip for My Walk. He's just got so many classic, at least personal classics for me from this time. But anyways, so during this era, Rich and Dex were running it up, going crazy with the numbers, going crazy with the views. Now, crucially, what happens from here is that he ends up signing with Richer Kid, as you guys know, to Rich Forever, and then he gets with 300, and then 300 were really able to take him from that next level. I always tell you guys, for every SoundCloud rapper to go to the mainstream, they need those breakout songs, those hits that put them on that mainstream level and get that wider attention. And for Famous Dex, there were 2 amazing songs that really did it: Pick It Up and Japan. I'm sure you guys know about these songs, 2 of my favorite singles from that era, but keep in mind that was in 2017, so now we're 3 years later, and let's have a look at where Famous Dex is at. These are his Spotify listener charts over the past year or so, and as you guys can see, just a year or so ago, he was at nearly 7 million monthly Spotify listeners, and as you can see, he was probably above that if the trend stays true, but now he's all the way down at just below 5 million. Now keep in mind, 5 million isn't bad, but also most of these listeners would be listening to the old Famous Dex hits. They wouldn't really be listening to the new music, so that's important to keep in mind, and I'm going to show you guys why. Firstly, we get to his YouTube page right here, and as you can see, he's tried to release a few singles with a few big name artists over the past year or so, mainly due to his label, and they've pretty much all flopped, unfortunately. We have the Rich Forever Posse Cut Party Bus, 2.4 million views, Proofread with Wiz Khalifa, 1 million views, What I Like with Richer Kid and Tiger, 1.6 million views, and then he just dropped Cooped Out with Fivio Foreign, who is hot as hell right now, 188k views. Now, just to show you guys how bad these songs have performed, let's take a look at the only songs that have reached the top 200 songs on Spotify for Famous Dex. As you can see, there's only 2 of them, Japan and Pick It Up. That means all of these songs with all of these big name features over the past year or so that they've tried to roll out have all flopped to really make a difference. Then we also get to his recent music that isn't on Spotify, that doesn't get an official release, like all of these songs here that were getting 20 million views, 10 million views, just millions of views just a few years ago. Now instead it's 164k views, it's 85k views, it's 116k views. You guys see what I'm getting at here. And then if we even look at the Billboard Top 200 and the other charts, again, you can see right here, all of the singles just haven't made a hit. And you guys will notice it says non-album singles. And you guys will also notice we haven't got a proper follow-up to Dex Meets Dexter, his debut album on that label. Do you know why that is? Because the label has tried again and again with all of those songs to get them another Japan, get them another Pick It Up. But the fact is, with flop after flop, the label at this point doesn't want to drop a project because they know it's not worth investing their time and their money into a project if it's not going to do well, which unfortunately isn't a good situation to be in, because at this point it seems like he's just getting shelved, and with each new song getting kind of progressively worse, it makes that idea of an actual project dropping harder and harder. But let's keep it pushing. Okay, I feel like I've kind of backed up what I said with some data and analytics. Now I just want to kind of contextualize this era and speak about a couple things that I think may have impacted Dex. Firstly is his whole label situation. If you paid attention to Rich the Kid, Rich Forever, Jay Critch, and Famous Dex, you would know there's been some weird situations in regards to their status on Rich Forever. As you can see, in 2017, Famous Dex said he wasn't signed to Rich Forever, even though he went on to release music as Rich Forever. Then in May 2018, he went and said the same thing again, but then you look at his credits for all of his recent releases, it says Rich Forever Music under the same label that he was before, 300 Entertainment. So that's just kind of a confusing situation and just points to messy business and behind the scenes stuff affecting the output and affecting the performance of an artist. Then unfortunately we get to the whole drugs, seizures situations that we've constantly seen play out for Dex. I don't want to speak on this too much, I'm just going to briefly touch on it. You guys can do Google searches, but as you can see right here, Famous Dex's team is worried about the alleged drug addiction, and then he even had a seizure on stage while performing. You guys have probably seen the other videos where Famous Dex is kind of on IG Live and then he falls asleep, presumably because he's so drug fucked. That's kind of difficult to watch. Again, I don't want to harp on this point too much because it clearly is very personal to Dex, but it goes without saying, unfortunately, drugs in some way, shape, form have definitely impacted his career. Because if you guys remember, 2016, 2017, it was always energetic Dex, going crazy, drip from my walk, rah, 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 rah. But now, if you look at him, he just doesn't have that same energy. So yeah, I think Famous Dex is in a really difficult position right now. It seems that with every new label single, he just builds himself deeper and deeper into that hole where A, as listeners, we're not really checking for him, we're not really gravitating towards the music, and then B, as a label, why would you want to kind of continue to put out these singles and continue to put big artists on his records if they're just not performing? I don't know though, hopefully Dex can kind of get back up. As I said, I still bump 2016, 2017 Dex so much. Such a go time for SoundCloud history. Rich Forever 3, one of my favorite projects. Let me know what your favorite Dex songs are from that era. Also guys, before we do finish this video, I want to give a couple quick shout outs from the Instagram. Big shout out to Jared, Forza, and also Chop Chef. Much appreciated you guys. As I said, if you don't follow your boy at your dig, make sure to go check out this post. It's really cool. And as I said, I can't wait to drop this merch at your dig if you don't follow your boy. Also like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. You guys know what to do. And there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.